Hey, this is Tara LaShawn, and this is my spill on Power, Season 4, Episode 7, You Lied to My Face. Let me start off by saying that this does contain spoilers, so if you have not watched the episode yet, to prevent you from being upset, please watch the episode and then come back and review, unless you just want to know what's going to happen before you watch it, okay? So, it starts off with Tariq and Ghost. They are on a train on the way home. So, this is after Jukebox, Kanan has shot Jukebox. Tariq, the whole kidnapping thing with Tariq. I guess Kanan took as well as taking the money, I guess he took the car too, because I'm like, why are y'all in the subway? But they're riding, and Ghost is kind of just looking around at everybody. Tariq is in shock, and so they're once they get off or whatever, he calls Tommy. Now Tommy is back from Chicago. And he goes in and he finds Grimace, tied up on the floor. And Grimace is like, man, we were robbed. Ghost robbed us, man. And they shot Maurice. They shot Marcus, Maurice, whatever his name is. They shot him, man. And so Tommy picks the phone up like, oh, yeah, here's Ghost now. Oh, man, we need to talk. And so Ghost cuts him off and is like, man, it's some serious stuff. It's Tariq. You got to meet me. So when Tommy pulls up, and Tariq sees him. Tariq just runs and gives him a hug. And so he's like, okay, go sit in the car. Go sit in the car, go warm up in the car, whatever. And so Ghost is updating Tommy on what he's missed. That Kanan is alive. Kanan and Jukebox kidnapped Tariq to hold him for ransom. They were going to kill him. There was no talk about the money after that. Tommy, like, the money just, that didn't even, whatever. And Tariq is kind of eavesdropping. He rolls the window down. And Tariq is kind of messed up. He might need to go see Father Callahan. But, yeah. So Tariq's like trying to get the inside scoop, like, what's going on? What is this? And I think it finally started to click in his head. Oh, Tommy is involved in this too. If my mom and dad have been doing all this corrupt stuff, drugs, killing people, and all this, Uncle T been doing it too. I'm like, bing, about time, Tariq. But Tommy goes and asks him, Tariq, he's like, well, did Dre know that Kanan was alive? And he's like, no, he really was just picking me up on the streets and stuff. He didn't know nothing about it. I'm like, oh goodness, why are you covering for Dre? Then we do get to Dre. Ooh, this big nose bastard. Great actor, but I'm talking character-wise. You bastard. Him and Tommy meet. Tommy immediately like, so, you knew Kanan was alive? And he's like, no. Why? Who said I knew? He's like, nobody said, Tariq didn't say nothing. He's like, but they kidnapped the kid. It could have been serious. And then, okay, I'm gonna go back because I got a little ahead of myself. When Ghost and Tariq get to the house, here Tasha come flying out. Where y'all been? Where you been? I'm like, you really do not keep up with your kids, Tasha. You don't keep up with your kids. Your kids just running wild. Everybody doing something. And so she's like, I don't want to hear it out of your mouth. Ghost, I want to hear it out of Tariq's mouth. And this is where Tariq just goes off. He's like, you lied to me. You lied to my face. You lied straight to my face about Sean. You lied about Sean. And she's like, what's Sean got to do with anything? She's like, that was season 2. We on 4. What does that have to do with anything? And so Ghost's like, okay, look, this is what happened. Slim is Kanan. Kanan kidnapped him, and that's what's been going on. And so now Tasha's kind of shook up, like, so you mean to tell me Kanan was Slim this whole time? Ding, 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 ding. And Tommy also told Ghost about how they first tried to kidnap Tariq when he first went to jail, and they sent him, as he said, a picture of Tariq passed out with a burnt crispy arm around him. So Ghost and Tasha, they get into an argument, and Ghost says the wrong thing to her. He's like, you had one job, and that was just to watch after the kids. And she's like, oh, for real? No, I didn't have one job. I had to worry about you being in jail. I had to pick up the pieces after you left. I had to deal with your lying son. I'm like, well, you weren't dealing to any. Let me stop. Because I feel like the kids were, I feel, especially Tariq, was running a little bit too wild, and Tasha wasn't asking enough questions. And I don't know any mama who don't know that their child gonna sneak out. I tried to sneak out many a times, and each time my mom could have been dead in her sleep. She woke up and caught me. Sneaking in, woke up and caught me. One thing, she caught me one night, real funny, because I snuck in, it was like about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna crawl into bed with my TV on low, and I'm gonna put the covers over my head like I'm asleep. And she's like, she walked into the room, she's like, I know you're not asleep because you got your glasses on, dummy. And I still had my my glasses on. But anyway, so they get into it. Raina hears them arguing, and she's like, you know, we wouldn't even have had this problem with Kane if you would have killed him 10 years ago. And so Raina's like, okay, Enrique's downstairs, there's somebody at the door, and is Daddy here? And she goes in there and she gives him a big hug and everything. So here comes Simon Stern, and Stern comes in, and he has this little team with him, and they're like, we're gonna fix you up for this interview with this with this chick. We're gonna fix you up with this interview. You have to look wholesome, and we need the whole family for this. And Tasha's like, no, no, no. And it's like, well, you really don't have a choice because you took his money, dum-dum. So Ghost is like, everybody will be ready. We'll have it together. Okay, so now we're back to Julio and Tommy. We're back, not Julio. We're back to Dre and Tommy. So Dre tells this lie to Tommy. Everybody's just lying to everybody's face throughout this whole episode. It's just the lies are piling up. As Candy did on the last season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. The lies! The lies! The lies! He's like, he's meeting with this new person. He's meeting with somebody. I didn't know who he was meeting with, but here's his car. I haven't heard from him in like 24 hours. So they go into the warehouse and find, of course, they find Julio. They find him dead. And so Tommy's like, what? My distro? My main man? My ace? My number one? And he's like, oh my gosh. And then he looks at his neck and he's like, this was the Toros Locos. They are the ones who did this. He's like, they cut the tattoo off. That was them. It's about to be a war. You set up a meet. He tells Dre, he's like, yeah, I want a meeting with them. You set this up. And Dre's like, well, now that he's gone, you know, you think I can move to distro? So I'm like, what the hell? His body, I just found him, dude, and you asking me this? And then Dre, when Tommy's like, make sure you put Julio somewhere nice. I'm like, y'all don't have conventional funerals, right? Y'all don't have funerals. I guess because you don't want investigations or whatever. But I'm like, y'all just believe in burying people in soil somewhere in unmarked graves and just leaving them. That's just messed up. And so, and then Dre's like, you know, yeah, I won this one, you know. And I'm like, oh, Dre, it's going to come down on you. It's going to come down. It's going to come down. It's going to come down. Anyway, back to the interview. So they're all, well, before the interview, Tasha and Silver. She calls Silver and she's like, you know, I need you to be here with me. Like, she needs him to be her support system. And she's giving off these vibes to him like she's just a little innocent, just, you know, housewife that was just wronged and cheated on, and she's trying her best and she's trying her hardest. And I'm like, oh, you're just such a liar, Tasha. The lies, like, you're such a liar. And so he actually does come, but he's like, I'm not coming for James. I don't want to represent your husband anymore. I'm coming for you. So he's sitting there, and the woman's doing an interview, and I kind of had this moment, like, she just blatantly asked about James and Angela's affair. I'm like, you just gonna do this in front of the kids like this? You ruthless. And then she asked Tasha about the wedding ring, and Tasha's like, she's like, well, you're not wearing your wedding ring. And she's like, well, and she looks at Silver, and he's like, she's like, well, I had to sell it to pay for his defense because it's very expensive to pay for someone, especially a person who's a black man who's been wrongly accused. And I'm like, oh, Tasha, girl, get over it. You sold that ring long. I'm like, oh my goodness, just over it. And while I'm on Tasha and Silver, I'm just going to go ahead and finish it. She goes and hangs out with him and two other people somewhere that's not. At first I was looking like, is this club? Is this truth? I'm like, no, this can't be the nightclub she hanging out with. She hanging out with Silver and another couple, and they're doing karaoke. So she gets up and sings Whitney Houston's "I Have Nothing." Okay, nice job singing. She's good singer. She's good singer. Good singer. There'll never be another Whitney, but she did a good job to me. But I'm like, why are you hanging out one-on-one personal with Silver, with him? I'm like, oh my gosh, your child just came home. He just been kidnapped. He's traumatized. Your daughter is trying to figure out what's going on. The other little girl, we finally have seen her after I don't know how many seasons that she's been gone, and she's sitting there while they're doing the interview and they're doing all this fake stuff. And it was funny to me. And I was watching it with my brother, and we both started cracking up. And she was just like, "Oh, can I go to bed now? That made me really young. Excuse me." She's like, "Can I go to bed now? Y'all are just, this nonsense. I'm too young to deal with this anyway. Just let me go in my room and go to bed." And especially Raina asking questions, and Raina's bucking up to her now too, because Raina's like, "Mama, I want to know the truth. I want to know what's going on with Tariq. I want to know what you and Daddy been doing, where he's been. I want to know." And she said, "I want you to stop treating me like a baby, and I'm waiting." And of course, the lies to Raina. It's like Tariq fell into a bad crowd. If you see this guy named Kanan, this is what he looks like. He's tall. He's tall, dark, burnt. You need to stay far away from him. You need to watch out for Tariq. If he sneaks out, I need you to come tell me. And I'm like, okay, is this foreshadowing for something happening to Raina? Because there's a lot of noise out there that Raina's gonna get shot or something this season. It's going to be something dealing with Tariq, and she's going to take a bullet for Tariq. Something like that. Something like that that's been on the internet. I'm hoping that it's not true, because that would be just messed up. But, hey, the way Power's going right now, hey, it might happen. And Raina she's just confused, and she's trying to figure out her way. But at the same time, she's kind of like, I want to know, but I really don't want to know the bad things. I'm not going to believe the bad things about my parents, but I'm going to try to be perfect so that, and she said this to Tariq at one point, she's like, we have to be perfect. We have to act normal, because if Dad goes to jail, all of this is gone. We don't have a home anymore. We don't have our freedom. We don't have our little freedom that we have now. We don't have our video games. We don't have this. And she was suggesting to Tariq, we need to go off to boarding school, and maybe that'll take some of the pressure off Dad, and we can kind of start fresh, and Dad can do good with his businesses and everything, and we'll be okay. Tariq at this point, he's over it. He's like, everyone's lied to me. He met up with Dre, talked to Dre. He's like, the reason I didn't snitch on you is because I want you to tell me the truth. And so after talking to Dre, he was like, did he send Kanan? Did my parents send Kanan to jail for 10 years or whatever? Did they do it? And Dre pretty much is like confirming everything. And he's like, Tommy knew about this too, and he's confirming it. So later on, when Ghost goes to talk to him, and he's playing a video game, shooting people, he's like, this don't bother you after seeing what happened to Jukebox? And he's like, it's not real. And the lies is still continuing. He's just like, Kanan is a bad guy. I don't know what he told you about us. It's a lie. And then even with Tommy, he tries to press Tommy, and Tommy was the one person who I could actually respect his response. He was like, look, you need to ask your dad, because this ain't my story. This ain't my story to tell you, player. So you need to ask your dad. I'm going to tell you Kanan's not a good person, but that's about all I can tell you. I'm not going to answer no questions about who I'm murdered and all this stuff and us selling drugs, because it ain't for me to tell you. Which I respect that. But I think with Tariq, maybe he does need to kind of know the truth, because he's at the point where lying to him is just going to be pointless, because he already knows what's going on, okay? They might can put Raina into that little secret, this is our life, we're a good, upstanding family. and not the criminal side, but with Tariq, I think they just really need to be honest with him, and maybe, and he will have more respect for them, I believe, if they're being honest with him. If Tasha and Ghost would just be honest and say, excuse me, this is what our life was, this is what we did, this is what was going on. So what do you want us to do with this now, Tariq? What, you got this information, what are you going to do with it now? Because we don't want you to sell drugs, and we did half of this, and your dad tried to do his dream of having a nightclub so that we could have a nice life, and he's trying to be legit, and we're trying to forget about this. We're trying to put all this in the past. So maybe they need to be honest with him, because he's sitting up, he back on drinking lean in his room, cough syrup and Sprite. And I'm like, oh man, my brother took the words right out of my mouth. He's like, man, you must not have heard what happened to what's that singer down here, DJ Screw, Soldiers, whoever who died from drinking that stuff. I'm like, man, this kid is just he's at this point, he's lost, and he's like, everyone keeps lying to me. Raina's at this point like, everybody keeps lying to me, but I don't want to believe the lies. I just want everything to look on the up. So I want to play my part. So back to Tasha and her playing her part. Tasha decides, okay, you know, after the interview, Ghost gives her a new wedding ring. And it wasn't silver, it was platinum. So she's at the little party that they're having at Truth, where Stern wants James to meet all these influential congressmen and councilmen, and he introduces him to one councilman who looks like he could have been his lover or whatever. And it's like, okay, all right, so Councilman Leonard. I'm like, so okay, what about him? So then we get Lorenz Tate. Yay, Lorenz Tate's here. So we get him. He comes in. He's Rashad Tate from Queens. And so him and Ghost, they're really hitting it off. Like, yeah, bro, you beat the you beat that case, man. Yeah. And, you know, we going to stay in touch. He's like, I know Stern trying to sell you on this, but I got a property that you really should look at. So they had this little connection. And Stern's like, I need you to stay away from him. So that's setting up for a very good storyline of, okay, why do you not want him to trust Councilman Tate, but you want him to trust Councilman Leonard. So it's kind of like, okay, there's going to be some conflict with this doing business thing. Tasha's there playing her part. So she confronts Silver about them doing the karaoke, because they were doing the karaoke after she got through singing. They were left alone. They kissed. So she's just trying to savage that and say, you know, we need to talk about last night or whatever. They get interrupted. She ends up in his apartment, and yeah, she gave the drawers up. She took that beige and black bra and panties off and gave it up to Silver. And I'm like, you just messed up so bad. Because every affair you have ends in some type of jacked up way. And you know it's going to end in a jacked up way. Furthermore, she is a criminal. Tasha is a criminal. You're sleeping with a criminal, with an attorney who, if he knew just 1 inch of what you and James have done, both of you guys could be in jail. And I don't think he would have a problem putting you in jail. Because, hey, the coochie ain't going to come in between that. I don't think, not with Silver. It's not going to work on him like Angela when she fell and head over heels with James and found out he was Ghost and still helped him out. So I was like, bad move on Tasha's part. Bad Tasha. Bad. Anyway. So, speaking of Angela Mock meets with everybody, and he's telling them, you know, you guys are suspended. I'd update my resumes, you know. You guys need to, you know, don't try to look into this. I'm going to solve it. And they're like, well, Angela's like, you were the lead on this. You were running this team. So how is it that you're not suspended? He's like, well, I threw all of you under the bus because I said, me being a newcomer, I didn't know what was going on with all these conflicts. I just learned about it. And so they're all like, man, you asshole. So it's her, Sax, and Mike. So Mike comes up with this theory that Donovan killed Greg. Donovan is now the leak. He killed Greg. He planted the gun because he's the one who found it and all of this. So he shares this with Sax. And Sax and him and Sax go to Mock. And Mock's like, okay, yeah, it looks to me like he was just doing his job. Angela's meeting with Donovan saying, you know, some of this stuff don't make sense. We need to go back. We need to look at some footage. We need to do something. Which they actually do. And they discover Mike with the gun. Now, this was played beautiful because Mike knows that the walls are closing in on him, okay? He goes with a gun to Donovan's. And he's going to kill him until Donovan's daughter opens the door. And he's like, oh, I didn't know your dad had custody of you guys this week. What's going on? And she's like, he's not here. He's like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so, yeah. And she's like, you want me to tell him that you stopped by? Nah. So, while Donovan and Angela have discovered Mike with the gun, so Donovan's like, okay, I'm ready. She goes to the door, and what everybody was thinking was that it was going to be Mike at the door. Instead, it's Sax' silly self. And Sax is like, hey, you know, I just want you to know, I didn't kill Greg. I'm not the leak. And, they think Donovan is, and for a very good reason. And Angela kind of just gave this smirk and just opened the door. And there's Donovan sitting there. He's like, and Sax like, oh, hey, man, yeah. So did you hear all that? So, that was a hilarious scene. Like, yeah, hey, ooh, I just finished talking a lot of smack about you in this doorway, and bam, here you are. Awkward. So, you can see these three are going to work together to find evidence on Mike. Everything's closing in. My prediction is Mike is probably going to end up killing himself because he knows he's not going to get out of this. Now, back to Tommy. Tommy does meet with the Toros Locos, and he's telling them, he's like, somebody took out my guy. So the guy who actually killed Julio has this little guy here who he's blaming. Tommy being Tommy shoots him. And so he's like, I want to meet with the top heads. So he meets with them. So they're the ones who were into it with Lobos. So they're sitting there and they're like, yeah, we did this, we did that. Tommy's like, no. In exchange for you guys releasing Julio, we gave you territory. I want that territory back. He's like, and actually you owe me twice because you guys are trying to take the credit that you killed Lobos. I killed Lobos. I'm like, okay, goodness gracious. So that's one thing. You're dealing with the Toros Locos now. Dre is worried about being outed by the guy who actually did kill Julio because he's just hot-headed. Then you have poor Proctor. They're like, okay, so Bailey was missing. He got killed in Proctor's apartment. Proctor's the one who had to dispose of the body and dispose of the computer. Ghost is like, Tommy, why did you let this happen? Why did you let him do it? Why didn't you do it? He's like, he said he had a guy. He said he had this. So James is like, well, he's no longer our attorney. He's an accomplice. So at any moment, if he feels the need, he could take a plea and throw us under the bus with everything. So Mike goes to meet with Proctor, and he's telling him, he's like, Bailey's been missing, but his cell phone, we got a track on his cell phone, the last tower, and it's right here near your place. So what's going on? And at this time too, it's also discovered by Donovan and Angela that Mike had a meeting with Bailey and didn't put it on the books. So Proctor is like, okay, I got all this pressure coming up against me. And he's telling everyone. He's telling James. He's telling Tommy. I disposed the body. I took care of the evidence, the wiretap. That with Louise saying all this with, you know, Tommy confessing to killing Lobos. He's like, I did it. He's like, I took care of it. I destroyed it. And so they're kind of lacking a little faith in him. And I'm like, leave Proctor alone, okay? He's been through a tough time. First he gets kicked off the first he has to go take custody of his daughter because his ex-wife's a cokehead. Then he gets kicked off his own case. Then he has a guy killed in his apartment by Tommy, stabbed in his apartment. He's like, man, okay, just like, man, leave me alone. So finally, Ghost tells Tommy, look, Tony Teresi, you know, he saw me kill a marshal, and he wants to talk to you. So really, he's like, so I mean, and to keep him from snitching on me about killing the marshal, he wants to talk to him. Here's the phone. It's programmed. Just talk to this guy, okay? Because he gonna call me twice during this dang episode, and I'm trying to handle business, and he's really adamant about talking to you. So Tommy's like, okay, fine. So he calls him. He's like, yeah, what's going on? I'm a busy man. What do you want? And so Teresa's like, you know, I'm your father. And Tommy's like, man, my father's dead. And he's like, you know, we don't have anything to talk about. So this is where it gets like, ooh, juicy. So Teresa says, you know, it wasn't my fault I wasn't in your life. It was Kate's decision. I'm talking about, how you know my mama? He like, yeah, I met her. She was dancing at she's stripping at some club, you know, 8 feet tall, wasn't nothing but legs. Talking about redhead. I always had this thing for redheads. Tommy's eyes about busted out of his head. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And which kind of would make sense, because Teresi's a loose cannon, lunatic, crazy, deranged, and so is Tommy. So it would make sense that he's Tommy's dad. And everybody was like, I bet he's Holly's dad. I'm like, no. So this is going to be interesting to watch. I'm like, oop, somebody call Maury because we need paternity tests Sunday on Power. Yow. But that was this episode. Next week is going to be war. That's pretty much what it's looking at. It's war against Tommy going against the Toros Locos. For Julio, it seems like this is what it seems like from the previews. Tasha probably realizing she shouldn't have slept with Silver, and actually James going to Silver's apartment saying, we need to talk. Nice Morehouse shirt, by the way, Silver, but you know, I think, you know, you do not know what James is capable of, and you definitely do not know what Tasha is capable of. So I'm ready for them to bust Mike, because yeah, I'm just ready. But like I said before, my prediction is just my prediction alone, and you can add your predictions to the comments. I believe Mike is going to take his own self out because he knows that he's going to be he's in a no-win situation. So he probably would rather take himself out than go to jail, and especially go be prosecuted and all that stuff. So, but anyway, that's what happened on this episode of Power. We got like 8, 9, 10. We got 3 more episodes, and then that's going to be it until next year. I'm already sad about that, though. I wish Stars would have extended it for 12 episodes, and hey, I hope in the future they do. But you guys tell me how you felt about this show. Tell me your theories in the comments, and also remember, hit that like button. So until next time, you guys have good.